Good to see everybody. I'm Ron Story Jr., and welcome to Speaker Co-working. I am the head of membership, product, and the chief bathroom cleaner at Speaker Hub. I'm here with Angela Lewis, who's the head of operations. We run a team of about a little over 40 people that make this machine run. So we're always happy to serve you and to help you to get booked on more stages, primarily to grow your brand and influence and your business. So, as we always start off with new people, letting them introduce themselves. So we have Antonio and Isioma and Desiree. And let's see, I'm trying to see who else is here. Antonio or Isioma, whoever wants to go first. If you want to introduce yourself, that'll be great.
All right, I'll jump in there. I'm Antonio Green. I am a fourth generation funeral director at James Cole Funeral Home in Detroit. And primarily, I'll do public speaking within the funeral industry at our conferences and state conventions.
That's pretty cool, dude. That's a interesting niche and one that's needed. One that we all gonna need. You gotta like you gotta market, man. I mean, your market never. Well, I guess I was about to say your market never
Never,
dies, but it actually does.
they do.
Your market actually does die.
Exactly.
No, that's pretty funny. There's a lot of Fonzie waka waka waka. So we can always do those jokes. But Isioma, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Isioma Coker. I'm in HR. So I'm an HR director, and recently I've been getting a lot of opportunities to speak at conferences about different things on HR thought leadership. And so one of my friends told me about Speaker Hub and was like, oh, there's a platform for speakers. So I was like, love to join, love to meet other people and kind of learn from them. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, good to see everybody. Good to see you. Who else is new? Alicia, this isn't your first. Is this your first time on the daytime show? She's been on the nighttime. She used to come in the evening.
No, I came yesterday, actually. I was there
Okay.
yesterday.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was tuned in from my phone yesterday, so I couldn't see anybody's faces. I was um in between traveling and things of that sort. So Desiree, are you working with Chris? You want to introduce yourself to say hi?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Desiree Corazonable. I am Chris executive assistant. So I'm here to learn and see how things work. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad to see everyone. Any wins to start off with? I know Bart has the celebration. Bart gets a medal because he's the first person to break Google. He sent me an email yesterday said Google sent me this message, which means that he pitched too much, and Google said, "Hey, slow down a little bit, slow down a bit." So Bart wins the first person to break Google using Speaker Hub award.
I win the out of commission award because now I'm out of commission.
But we
So,
got you. We'll get you back fixed. I know
all
how to
right.
fix that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Right?
that's my lifeline. Now my lifeline's like cut
No,
off.
we got you. We got
Yeah.
you. But he
Nobody
sent
else
so
gonna
many
get this award.
he sent so many pictures and follow-ups. Google said, wait a minute, you're a little busy over there. So, but we'll work with them to get that fixed. I've had this happen before, so I know exactly what to do in order to get him restored. But I wanted to give him that award publicly because it shows his level of commitment to making sure he achieves his goals. Any other wins?
Ron,
Any other wins? Yep.
Ron, can we stay on Bart for 1 minute? Valencia
Yeah, go ahead.
asked, how many did Bart send to get banned? She wants to be
Like,
banned as well.
oh yeah, it's gonna take like 700 initial emails with 5 follow-ups. Google limits you to, I think, 2,000 emails a month if you're on a free plan, and like I think it's like 10,000 on a paid plan. And Bart definitely went over the. If he sent 700 last month, and then sent the follow-ups to all of them, he definitely crossed 2,000
So,
emails last month.
so I had to send an appeal, and it said, you got to put your reason. I said, call Ron Story Jr.
Oh yeah, that's fine too. We could work with them on that. So I'll tell you what probably happened. And Bart, we'll talk about it later, but one of the main things is when you're following up. The reason why we use the AI sometimes with the follow-up is because it changes the message in each follow-up. And I don't know, I'll have to look at Bart's, but I know sometimes when people send their follow-ups, they're sending the same follow-up again. So the first original message and then the second follow-up is different. But what happens with the third and fourth follow-up, right? So depending on how those look, people can, if they see the same message coming to them, they may get a little bit bothered. But it's nothing major. We've worked through these before. I've never had anybody permanently kicked off of any platform in 6 years of doing this and relentlessly following up. We used to send over 500,000 emails a year for our clients. We've booked over 10,000 meetings with event planners on an annual basis. I always talk about the 10,000, but it was annually. It wasn't just like, oh, 10,000 all together over the last 10,000 years. No, we were doing this annually for our clients. So nothing to be afraid of. It's part of the business. Arain.
Happy Friday, everyone. I had a client trying to contact me. There was a contact people changed. Anyway, they didn't have my contact information. They Googled me. How they couldn't find me through Google was hard, but they found my Speaker Hub page, and that's how they reached out to me through Speaker Hub. So everybody make sure they have their Speaker Hub profile set up.
I promise you, your Speaker Hub profile page will outrank your own page 99% of the time. So if you have a Speaker Hub profile and we were to Google your name with speaker behind it, it's probably going to come up first, second, or third. And I'll show you what we mean by this, why this is so important. SEO is undervalued until a missed opportunity, then all of a sudden SEO becomes way more valuable. So let me give you a great example. So this is the Speaker Hub directory that has all 64,000 of our speakers in it. And Robert Heath is right there. How ironic is that? I think he's on the call today. Is Robert in here? He's on the leaderboard, I think, for the first time. Robert may be in here. But Robert is one of our gold members. And when we come in and we type in Robert Heath, what comes up is some other people, right? But there's his Amazon and other things. But how many of these guys are speakers, right? There's his Event Raptor, and he's down here on collabs.io. But let's see what happens when we put speaker behind his name, right? Now, there's his Speaker Hub page right there. It's the fifth one. When we come over, let's see, right? So even here's his LinkedIn and different things. I don't know what this is. Robert Heath Jr., that's a different person. But there's the Robert that we're looking for here. Now, once we upgrade him to gold, this should push him even further up what we're doing. But I don't know where his personal page is. You notice we don't see his personal website on here anyway. There's a bunch of ads. Let me turn on my ad blocker so we can push those off. But when we look at this and we see Robert here, his personal page doesn't even come up before his Speaker Hub page is there, right? This isn't the same person. That's a different person, right? So you want to have your Speaker Hub page because it's probably going to outrank your own individual speaker pages and what you're doing. So that's really important. You can get one of those for free. Costs you nothing to have a Speaker Hub regular page to join the directory of the other 64,000 speakers that we work with at Speaker Hub. So Isioma, at worst, get you one of them. We'll send you the link to get one of those. Same thing with you, Antonio. We'll get you a Speaker Hub page. But high five, Orain. Any other wins? Anybody else got booked for anything or won something?
This is
getting Nicole, a lot of Van Valen.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of podcast interviews, but they took some time. So I was having some that I got on my own before, but the ones that Malachi pitched me for on my team, they're starting to come through fruition now. So it's nice.
No, that's cool. High five. Super duper high five. Valencia, and then we'll go to Nicole Shelton. Oh, you're muted, Valencia. You're talking to yourself. She was going too. She was like, yeah,
I was in it. So I took your advice from last week, reached out to some co-working places, and I am booked. I didn't know that May was mental health month, and look, I'm meeting with the president and all them on Monday, so it's a wrap. It's good. It's a wrap.
Lindsay, I told you, you're rocking with the best. Nobody's booked more people than me. But sometimes we be looking, you know, they say you can't see the forest because of the trees,
Yes.
right? It's like, no, it's right in front of you, right? And we think, oh no, I need this thing. No, no, no. It's the thing right in front of you. Anybody here that wants to do a live workshop to get footage, look up local co-working places. They're always looking for presenters. If you sell to entrepreneurs, go to a co-working place and just offer a workshop. If you do yoga, I've had all types of, Angela and I were in a co-working place in St. Louis. Every day somebody was buying people lunch in the lunch area. They would bring a bunch of boxed lunches or sandwiches, and people would come around and they would say, hey, you get a sandwich after you listen to me talk for 30 minutes. And everybody would fill in. They spent $60 on Subway sandwiches, bought maybe 25 of them, and they were happy, right? So for less than 100, yes, baby, 2 pointers, Susan. They were happy. For less than $100, you could get 25 Subway sandwiches and 25 sodas, and they could be the off-brand sodas. They don't care. They just want some food, and they'll listen to you for 30 minutes. And be sure that they do the QR code. Say, hey, if you didn't do the QR code, you don't get your sandwich, right? And then you got 25 leads to talk to. Does that make sense? So use your speaker QR in order to do that. Nicole, what's up?
Hey, so I'm back
wait a
home.
minute. You still on vacation?
I'm back home, but I'm today I'm in a tank top.
Okay, good
So
to see you.
I look a hot mess. So there y'all go. I am real. I am here. I actually did what you said. I didn't do it from the platform because I was traveling. I wasn't sure how yet. I did get leads sent out on my speaker hub this week and got some responses back. I was excited about that. I also sent out my surveys. And so those are being able to get people to say, yeah, I'll talk to you. And the ones who wouldn't, I had them just fill out a survey for me. The other ones I asked, can we just talk real quick? And so those were two of my really big wins. And then I'm revamping my speaking site. So
you get referrals from the surveys that you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many? How many did you get?
Well,
I'm always excited
so
about
what
that.
I add, I don't know quite yet because I've only gotten back two. They emailed me and I have it marked as unread so that I can go back today because I get back off of the road at 2:00 in the morning. So I have
no problem. Here's
a full
I want to give you a
weekend.
little bit of advice. Don't email them the survey. You want to do it live and in person.
No. I did it for the ones who said that they didn't really have time. So that way, when I asked them, hey, would you do one? Yeah, but I really don't have a lot of time. Hey, well, I have a really quick way. Can I at least send you this? Because that's my backup. That's my, I still want what I want.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that's the right way to go. Let me give you one thing to kind of get them out of saying no.
Okay.
You got to give them what we call a false time constraint.
Okay.
Okay. So if you say, hey, can you help me with a survey? People have tried to sell them using like, hey, I'm going to give you consulting. Hey, can I borrow 6 minutes? They used to hearing people say 10, 15, 20. Can I borrow 6 minutes of your time to complete a survey? 6 minutes. Everybody got 6 minutes.
I said 4.
Okay. Yeah. Something like that. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, try to, but for everyone else who may not understand the importance of the time constraint. Yep. The false time constraint is really important because they're like, yeah, I got 6 minutes. And then it forces you to stick to the questions without asking a bunch of follow-ups and things of that sort. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So Nicole, high five, way to go. Keep going. I mean, dude, we got so much game to give y'all regarding how to turn those one-to-one conversations into speaking gigs and product sales. So
I got one more for you.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, that was my monkey brain. I'm sorry. I got one more for you. we're in the middle of the Black NSA mastermind right now, the Millionaire Mastermind.
Yep.
And Speaker Hub is all up in there. And even in our accountability group, there's 2 or 3 of us that are meeting, and we were talking about, well, how to, what are you using to get leads? And the consensus was Speaker Hub is the ish. That's where we go to. So thank you. I mean, thank you for adding all of the functionality and having these calls and really supporting what we're doing.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to be the Motown for speakers. We got all these record labels that are pushing negative messages. There's nothing pushing the positive messages out there. There's no other platform that's pushing. We need more positive speakers in the world. So if we can build the tools to amplify that, I may not be Barry Gordy, but he wasn't Ron Story. So we're gonna do what we good at over here. We're gonna be good at pushing our positive messages out to counteract all the negative energy, the negative politics, the negative everything. Everybody fighting so much. Let's be the voice of positivity in the world, guys. Regardless of where you stand, everybody who stands up gets a hug. That's my thing. Regardless of where you stand, you get a hug. So let's be that voice. Chris, but high five, Nicole, way to go. And we're here. Anything you all need in the mastermind, hit me up privately and I'll make sure that anybody that's in the Black NSA mastermind, that they have whatever they need to accelerate down that path. Chris, what's up? Good to see you back. Chris came back with guests and partners in crime,
because my executive assistant, she runs a tight ship and she has a big whip and she keeps me in line. So I've invested, being a lifetime member, I am ready to go. And I have gotten new platforms that are just, people need to hear about it. So I need to get out there. So I'm going to have Desiree. We're going to talk about, she knows my niche. She's been with me for 4 months now. So she kind of knows kind of what I'm doing, but I want her to be able to get in there and kind of start doing the things that I should have time to do, which I do not. And so if you could show us like where she should get started, or is there like an onboarding video, or just so we can get going?
Yep. So Desiree, in 2 minutes, I'm going to give you exactly what you should do. This is the 2-minute onboarding. What you do is, so Chris, when you log into your page, if you go over to team, you can add Desiree and give her own login so that so that she can do whatever she wants to do with her own login, right?
Okay.
And you can give her admin membership, meaning that she can go in between your account with no issue, but she can't change the like take control over to change the billing or anything like that.
Okay.
So she can float around and do whatever.
Okay.
You mentioned you have multiple things going on. We created something called workspaces. So you can see I talk about Speaker Hub, but I also talk about startups and expats because I don't live in the US. So I have my own personality where I talk about how people should buy businesses instead of starting them. We don't even talk about public speaking. It's just my business philosophy. So that's what that one's about. And then this is my personality when I reach out to travel podcast and I'm talking about living in South America and how I lived in 5 other countries. So they don't overlap. I can have my own different personas that I'm pitching for. So Nicole is a speaker, but she's also an attorney. So she may want to have a profile that's about her attorney background, but another one about what she does with, from a speaker's perspective, motivating women.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
And that would be under expats. And that's expats.
No. It's under team and workspaces.
Okay, that under
but
workspaces.
That's just the title.
Oh.
So watch this. Watch this. I'm going to make one called positivity, right?
Okay.
Right. So that would be the name of that workspace now. You see how every time I add a new workspace, that's the title of the workspace. So I know what I'm logging into.
Okay.
Right. And it creates a new branding kit. It creates a whole new branding kit with a new bio and a new AI system that's matching you based on that new personality.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Everybody has access to that. If you have a lifetime account, you have access to
Yep.
this.
Right.
Where
I
you
do.
can go in and pitch your different. If Valencia is working on basketball coaching, but in the afternoons she runs daycare, she could have a basketball coaching, be on those podcasts, and be on daycare operator podcasts.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Right. So that's what workspaces do. Here
Okay,
is the
workspace.
academy that shows you how to do all of the basics, how to set up the speaker profile, how to
Yeah.
do your branding kit, use your templates, how to send pitches, how to reach out to conferences, just the basic overview. Everything you need is right here. If you have any questions,
Okay.
you can find them usually right in here.
Okay. Okay. And that's under
Make
the
sense?
academy. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the
Yep.
first page she's going to
Okay.
see when she logs
Yep.
in. Any other more
Okay.
detailed questions, if she runs into a problem, contact support.
Okay.
Right? If you need just general questions and motivation, come to co-working.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
If you
Okay.
need something that
Yeah.
you can't survive, that you can't solve there, then get on my calendar. But I'm booked like 6 weeks out. So
Yeah. Right.
the more urgent things will happen here. Got
Yeah.
it, guys?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much. Thank
Oh, yeah,
you.
no, this is
Yeah.
perfect. Kevin, what's up? We had a long welcome introduction, positivity award ceremony today. We 30 minutes in, ain't even got into the work yet. Go ahead, Kev. What's
Yeah.
up?
Well, I've been doing this. I've done only 2 surveys, but out of the 2, I've got 3 each as far as referrals to other
That's
people.
six total.
Yes.
Look at that. How cool is
And
that?
I have 2 high school communities that have reached out to me, and I'm feeling certain kind of way about asking them for money. Am I stupid in thinking that way, that it's I shouldn't ask them? I mean, because it's high
No.
school kids, it's minority high school kids, and it's not their parents that are going to be there. It's just the kids who don't have any money anyway. So
But
tell
here's the
me
thing:
how I should be thinking here.
the districts have budgets for bringing in speakers and consultants throughout the year. So you're not we did a talk on this, and let me go back to it because I have it open, and it's just ironic that I knew we was going to end up talking about this at some point. Let me go through my frameworks. So we have all of these frameworks that we teach, and let me get to the one that I want, which is about beneficiaries, right? Where is it? One moment. Maria made 1,000 of these. All right. Those are our modalities. Where's our payer framework? All right. So basically, I can't find it, I guess. There's a audience, there's the beneficiary, right? And there's the owner, beneficiary, and payer. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
what I mean by that is in every situation, there's somebody who's responsible for bringing you in. They made the decision to bring you in. We call them the owner. Does that make sense? The person in the audience is the beneficiary. They're the people who benefit from your talk. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then the payer is the person who paid for you to come there. So the principal may be the owner, or the dean of students may be the owner. They're the person that said, we want Kevin to come talk to us. The beneficiary is the students. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The payer is the school district.
Okay.
Got it? So
Mhm.
they don't always have to be the same people. Sometimes the person who benefits from the talk can't pay for it. Got it? Here it is
Right.
here. This is really important to understand because sometimes we're pitching the payer as if they're the beneficiary. And they're like, no, I don't really care about that. I'll give you a great example. Someone tried to offer me YouTube training. I think Speaker Hub can benefit from it, right? But I was just the payer. I told them to talk to Raymar, who handles all of our YouTube stuff. And if she thought it was good enough, I would pay for it. He kept trying to sell me. So he lost the deal because he didn't want to talk to Raymar. I'd already approved that I would pay for it if the person who had to own the responsibility of the YouTube channel approved it. Does that make sense? And who would have benefited? Our company and our audience. But he missed the opportunity because he was trying to get the payer to take responsibility for something that I wasn't taking responsibility for. Sometimes the payer and the owner are the same people. With you guys, you all are the payers for Speaker Hub. You're the person who owns the responsibility of making the decision, and you benefit from using it. You see how you can be all three, but you don't have to be all three. Does that make sense? So be sure you understand who you're talking to, because based on who you're talking to, if they tell you, oh yeah, I like the idea, talk to such and such. That means they may be the owner, but they can't pay for it, or they're the payer and they're not going to be responsible for it. Does that make sense? So let me give you a great example. We're bringing in some executive coaches into Speaker Hub. I'm the payer, but the coach that's coaching Ange, she got to like him, not me. She gonna own that responsibility, right? So we got to make sure we understand those three roles, that everybody doesn't play all three roles. The bigger the organization, the more those roles will be divided. Is that fair? Kevin, so the payer is either the principal or the school district. A teacher may be the person who made the responsibility as the owner to bring you in.
Right. It was teachers that asked me.
Yeah. So let me confirm this, because Ange used to run, how many schools you used to be over, Ange?
With Nifty, I worked with like 8 to 10, depending on the year.
Yeah. So Ange used to
multiple districts.
Used to sell training to schools, like multi-5-figure contracts on an annual basis to schools to go in and to teach entrepreneurship. Right. So the Edge, who was the person in the class? Were they the payer or the beneficiary?
The beneficiary. We never talked to teachers. I never met with teachers or students about the programming.
Right. So the teachers and the students were the beneficiary. Who made the decision on whether y'all was going to do it? The principal or the superintendent?
Depending on the size of the school, it was the principal. If it was a one school, but when we worked in districts, it was the superintendents who I met with.
Right. Yep. And what were the contract averages, if you don't mind? This is old. So Nifty, don't call me. This was 18 years ago. So that's my disclaimer.
Let's see. I actually still have this info. We were charging.
This is hypothetical info. She don't have the info no more. She deleted
I don't have
it
anything. Exactly. But if there was something that I remember, the range was from on the low end, 3,500, on the high end, 9,000.
There you go.
For programming.
And these were multi-year contracts. So that was every year.
We did multi-year deals.
So they got the budget, and she wasn't the only program in that school. Does this make sense? So that's really important to understand.
So I just asked for the payer, I asked for the principal.
You go to the, who hired you?
The school, like the teacher, one of the teachers.
Okay. And you asked, and she asked if you would come in and talk to the students, right?
Right.
Okay. And just ask her, hey, who do I need to talk to about payment? Is there a budget for the conversation? And she'll either tell you, she'll say, I think you need to talk to our principal. And if she say there is no payment, then you got a decision to make, right? I've done a bunch of meetings without direct payment because I wanted to help the kids, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you were like our lead volunteer. So the program, Brian, would come to the schools and talk to the kids about entrepreneurship, to all the summer camps and all those things. So,
yeah, I mean, we would do a lot of cool work just because I remember being that kid in the room that didn't know nothing. So But high five, Kevin. Hopefully that was helpful. Was that beneficiary, payer, owner conversation helpful? That's really, really, really
It
important
was. It
because
was
as you
because I
go
had
up in
no idea.
organizations, yeah,
It was
as you
very
move
good.
up in organizations, they will spread out to be different people. Right now, when you're running your own business, you all three of them. So you don't think of it as three separate roles. But in our company, even at our size, those roles are dispersed. Um, any other questions before I get into my topic for the day? Anything else?
Yes.
Anything in the chat that I'm missing?
Yes, the chat is popping, the DMs, the questions. Okay, let's get into this. So we have a number of people who want to refer Speaker Hub to their friends, and their friends are asking, well, how much does it cost? What do you say? What does everybody here tell their friends?
Oh, what you want to know what they tell them or what I should tell them?
Yes,
All
what
right.
should they tell them
All
when
right.
friends are asking, oh, Speaker
Well,
Hub is amazing. What I want to be a part of it. So how much does it cost? What do they say?
Yep.
What should
So the
they
first
say?
thing they should do is that they should know that Speaker Up has gone through a transition over the last 90 days. So a lot of the things have kind of been in flux, but we haven't finalized. Prior to March, we were exclusively a software company. So people treated us like Netflix or something like that. How many of you all know, how many of y'all believe that if you try something for 7 days, how many of y'all believe you can get a speaking gig in 7 days for a conference that's happening in 2026? Yeah, nobody here believes that because y'all talked to me long enough to know that that is a foolish thought, right? But when people approach Speaker Hub, they usually come over and say, I want to try it for 7 days to see if I can get something. And I'm like, you're better off winning the lottery because it's a long game. You're pitching conferences that are 6 and 9 months out. You may just be filling in the application in April. They may not make the approval until June. So trying us is a waste of time. So we said, you know what? We're really a speakers bureau. We do everything that a normal speakers bureau does. We match you with the right opportunities. We give you the contact information to get booked. We do everything but take half of your check. Right? The normal speakers bureau take 20, 30% of your money every time you go speak. We don't do that. Right? The other thing that they don't do, because they only want you speaking at conferences, is that we help you to make money from podcasts. We help you to make money from small groups. We help you to make money from webinars and small association meetings. Again, I don't think you'll get paid in all ways, but I believe you should always get paid. Right? So we help you to get paid on the stages that amateur speakers see as free stages. I've interviewed last month alone, I interviewed 290 speakers just in March. And what I found is that the people that argue for upfront payment only are the people who don't have products to sell. Because if they had a product to sell, they would know they would make more money selling a product than accepting $3,000 for a gig. They would. But since they don't have a product, they argue for the upfront payment. But they've never had anyone challenge them and offer to teach them how they can get paid on the other side. I'm very proud and willing to show anybody my notes. I've never met a speaker who's gotten paid more upfront than what I've made on the backside. Okay. Uh-oh. This is a problem. My daughter just came in here with an iPad and said, I'm about to start making a TikTok. Who And she has said it. You're going to see her dancing in the background. Give it 2 seconds. Y'all can watch the sideshow over here. But she is about to make TikToks. This is wild. Okay. Right. Okay. So what I was saying was we show you how to build a business with your speaking. We don't have a problem with getting paid up front, but if you're just starting off, that's going to be hard. Watch this. She ran because she saw us. She says, don't look at me, I'm going. Right?
I was ready for the
exactly. But we think you should get paid up front if you can, but we also want you to get paid on the backside. So if Nicole goes and gives a talk about trust and wills and things of that sort, she may be willing to do that for free. but she's going to get a $5,000-$10,000 estate planning client on the backside. If they're saying they'll only pay her $2,000, but she can't pitch her services, but she can make $10,000 from the clients in the audience, which one should Nicole take as an attorney? She should take the ones where she can get the clients on the backside.
Yep.
Does that make sense? But if she can get both, take both, right? But you shouldn't leave with nothing. Is that fair? You shouldn't not get paid. So that's what separates us from everyone else. Most speakers bureau focus on only getting you paid up front, which means they can't get you booked on podcasts. They can't get you on local associations because they only want you paid up front. We want you paid every time you open your mouth. We don't believe in free speech. We make that very clear. I know it's a double entendre, but it's true. I don't believe in speaking for free. I got to get my money, right? So what should you tell your friends that Speaker Up costs? The first thing you should tell them is that they have to apply. They have to answer 25 to 30 questions that we ask to make sure that they're the right fit. And then the second part is they have to come to one of these meetings because I want you to meet my people. If you don't fit in with my people, ain't no need of you joining the group and causing a bunch of ruckus. Come talk to the folks, right? And then after you come to talk to the folks, we'll show you how you can sign up for a lifetime plan. Speaker Hub is the only membership that lets you pay once and have access for life. There's no, oh, we just want to try it for a week. You can't try out a speakers bureau. Either you join it or you're not. I didn't get to try out my country club. I had to pay them the money. They gave me a tour. They showed me around. And then they said, you paying? And if I said no, they said, cool, come back when you paying. Now, we have the same attitude, but we offer a money back guarantee, which means that you can try it for 90 days, but you got to pay for those 90 days. And if you did your part, I will happily give you a refund if you're not getting any action. Now, everybody here that's on the call today has been a lifetime member for longer than 90 days, which means that they're getting results. Does that make sense? So we extended it to 90 days because you can't find out if they want you in a week. The question of how much does it cost is hard because sometimes, thank you, baby. I appreciate it. You ready? Okay. Is because different people we provide financing options where if you can't pay the full amount up front, we'll let you pay it over a year, over 2 years, over 3 years. We've never denied anybody who wanted to commit. I deny everybody who wants to try it. Very clear about it. You can try something else. You can't try this. Either you're in or you're out. And if it doesn't work, we'll just give you your money back. Because we're with the doers, not the triers. Make sense? So hopefully that answered the question, but they just have them apply. Come to one of the meetings. We got you. If you're already on the meeting and you haven't applied, apply. We got you, right? But we want the winners because there's a lot of BS out in this industry. Every 53 minutes, somebody gets booked using Speaker Hub. We track it. Every 53 minutes, somebody gets booked. If you find some place that's booking more people than that, introduce me. We'll buy them. That's our attitude. We buy our competition. That's how we got here, right? We walk it.
Ron,
we walk it over here. So go ahead.
We have a few more questions in the chat. Nicole said that she doesn't see Florida as a state on associations and conferences. I double checked.
Okay.
I didn't see it. Wanted to see if there was an issue.
In the drop down?
In the drop down. I sent it to Santi, but I was wondering if there's something that you know more about.
Send that to Santiago, but I'll show you an override. So if there's something missing in the drop downs, let us know. But if you just type Florida in here, it should bring up all the Florida stuff. So it's in there. It's just maybe a flaw that we have in our states here. Yeah, I don't see it there either. So
you should be good, Nicole.
Yeah, we're missing Florida, Louisiana.
We've double and triple checked this so many times.
Yeah, we missing some states. Florida, Louisiana. Yeah, Florida, Louisiana is missing. Look at the dev group. Tell them to check the dev group. I put some states in there that are missing. But
Okay.
you can just override it by typing it in the search, guys. Sorry about that, Nicole. Thanks for pointing that out. We thought we had that fixed in the last drop down when we fixed Canada for Jasmine, because Canada was missing at 1.2. Any other questions in the chat? Does this make sense? Again, guys, this is not arrogance. This is confidence. I know the results that we've gotten for the people that have been willing to do the work for themselves. So I'm not just up here talking. This is just the confidence that we have that we can help you. And it's backed by the results that we'll show. Darren, how did your speeches go, man? Let's bring Darren up. We were supposed to talk today, but he was on another call. Darren Franklin, how did your speeches go?
Hey, man, it was an awesome opportunity to be home and speaking at the Trio Festival in New Orleans for Louisiana. Two things that I would say stood out. I did a workshop type in a breakout session, right? And one of the responses was, he should have been the keynote speaker. And another response was, he should have had more time.
How dope is that, dude?
Yeah, man, thank you. I was also able to, there were a couple of directors that came up to me the next day when I was part of a panel, and they were like, hey, I heard about this session. I'll make sure I get in contact with you so we can bring you back and do some other things. So it was great, man, and been following up with people and things like that.
How incredible is that? How you feel, man?
Hey, man, I feel good going home and being able to make some more contacts, impact some people. It's really good. So keeping that momentum going.
Oh, that's a big deal. High five, Darren. High five.
Thank you.
High five for the win, man. So here's the backstory. Darren was working primarily with high school students. This shift up to Trio, which is college students, is a jump, right? And then he's moving into corporate, but he's learning as he goes. It's not an overnight thing. So he's building his skills, learning, and he's practicing so that when he gets the big horse, the big elephant is walking down the street, he's going to be able to knock him dead. But it's this repetition. It's the ability to get in. He learned to practice his referrals. We gave him a list of other trios that he could bring out so that he can get referrals to others. This is where you practice. Guys, you got to get the opportunities. So number one, high five for taking the gig. Number two, high five for over delivering. You know how hard it is to get people to want you a second time? You know? I mean, it's incredible. High five to you for that. All right. Anything else in the chat that I'm missing? Because we rolling along today with a bunch of celebrations, but I'm excited for Darren.
Tons of celebrations. Tons of celebrations. People noticed the suit jacket, Darren. So people saw the difference in the presentation. Some people was shouting out that,
The
but
swagger.
Everything else.
The swagger.
Man, look, no one on the corner got swagger like us.
Swagger like that.
That's it. Swagger like us. We need to play that. That need to be. No one on the stage got swagger like us.
Like
right?
that's the theme song, right? Every time people come in from now on.
There it is. Any other questions? Any other questions?
There's one question, Ron. Valencia asked, this is going back to what we were talking about with Kevin. She said, is there a good question we can ask to get to the payer in regards to schools? Like, what's the question that should be asked? Not sure if you addressed that one.
In what context? Asking the kids? Asking whom? Context is important, Valencia. Give me a scenario.
Oh, she said you addressed it. I'm just behind.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, the context matters though. Let me put that out there, right? So when you're talking to the person that's inviting you, you can ask them, hey, is this a paid opportunity, or who should I speak to about payment? Right. And you can preface it. I know most schools usually have a budget for this that some of the teachers may not know about. Who would I talk to about that? And then you see how you kind of put it out there that they may have it, but they don't know about it. So you say, hey, I know schools usually have budgets to bring in speakers that a lot of the teachers don't know about. Who would I speak to about that? Would that be the dean or the principal?
Yeah, I was specifically, with the co-working company that I'm working with, they brought up something else. They said, well, we're having emotional support for our members for May. So that's something totally new than just a workshop. So in my meeting with them, just wanted suggestions on how I could word, okay, is this a paid? I guess I could just come
Yeah, so I'll give you a great way to do that, right? So if I was in that meeting, I would ask two things. Number one, is this something that you guys are looking to do monthly going forward? Right? So then now you're looking beyond that one workshop. Because I don't think any support or anything like that can be solved in a 30-minute talk.
Right.
So is this something that you're looking to offer going forward on a monthly basis? If they say, yeah, that would be great. Okay, is this something that would be sponsored by the co-working location, or would the individual members choose to work with me privately? That means that they're going to pay for it versus the institution. If the co-worker is going to pay for it, they'll say, no, we'll sponsor it. You notice how I said sponsor instead of payment? Is this something that the location is going to sponsor? Meaning that they're willing to pay for you to come and do that group meeting every month? Or is this something that the members would meet with me and hire me for personal consultations? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. So
right.
Use the word sponsor more so than payment, right?
Well, yeah, you ask if they're going to sponsor. I don't know any sponsorship that doesn't require payment.
Right. I like that.
Right. So because they understand what it is. And if they say, no, we'll let you come in, but they'll pay for it if they want other services, because they'll clarify, right? You want them to, no, they'll pay for their own private services, but we'll let you come in. Perfect. I'm cool with that. I just shifted who the payer was. It's not the event host. It's the person in the audience that's going to pay me. In that case, the beneficiary and the payer are the same, even though the owner who brought me in is different.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
When you go on a podcast, the owner is the podcast host. The beneficiary is the person in the audience. And if they hire you afterwards, they're the payer also.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you so much.
So we're just shifting who's paying in our conversations. Lawrence, what's up? 30 seconds. What you got?
Okay, hopefully you can hear me over the wind because I'm outside fishing.
Yep.
But
you're fine.
My question was on when it comes to contacting co-working spaces, do we just directly ask, do you guys host events for things like this? Or have you noticed any differences when it comes to doing an event at a co-working space compared to podcasts and other associations?
Yeah, so when you can just walk into a co-working space and just, I'm gonna tell you why. Here's the thing. You walk into a co-working space, walk up to the receptionist and say, hey, who do I talk to about events that you all may host?
Oh, okay. This is perfect.
Yeah, just go up and ask them. And they'll say, oh, are you trying to host an event here or whatever? And say, yeah, do you all bring in speakers to do trainings for the members? Do you all do trainings for the members or whatever? And they'll say, oh, yeah, you would talk to such and such. Because the person who does the room reservations is usually going to be different from the person who does programming. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Bart was raising his hand halfway. Bart, what was you about to say? I saw Bart about to say something.
I'm working. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, his fingers got tight from pitching so much. I get it. But is this helpful, guys? The ability to go into co-working spaces is a game changer because it's a live stage and you get instant feedback. Now, I'm gonna warn you, co-working is tough to do presentations at. If you have it out in the open, they will get up and walk out of your stuff if they bored. So you better be ready. You better keep their attention because they will be like, all right, I gotta go. I heard this cool, but how do I get my sandwich? So it is great training ground. Erica knows tech folks, they will leave you. They are the most emotionally unattached people. They'll be like, dude, we out of here. Don't know what he's talking about. You say one thing wrong, they will argue with you and everything. So so be careful in the co-working spaces. Be sure your stuff is right.
I was at the trade show a couple of days ago at the trade show. I decided to go, exposure. I figured I don't have it, I have my books. Angela, I talked about the book. I decided to not have the book, but just other things out. But most of the stations, right, the tables had stuff to sell and all that. So I'm figuring no one will be at my table. I just say no one, you know. I had my videos on loop from my YouTube videos on loop, so distract. But I was telling you, you would think I was selling gold at the table. And at the one point, I was saying to myself, listen, you guys go pick on some other table. Just get out of my face. They were like, just, you know, just I didn't think I'd feel that way, but you know, it's just a matter of engaging people. And I just thought if I don't have anything to sell at the moment, physically, tangible, to walk away with, they're going to get me and my mission and what I do. And I had a large banner as well. I thought these people were selling mugs and cups and potteries and stuff like that. Their table was empty. They're coming over to hear about health and wellness. They want me to jump up and do some class for them right then and there.
There it is. There it is. Next time, charge them. They said, look, if you set yourself on fire, the world will come to watch you burn. It's your job to sell them the tickets.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we forget to sell them damn tickets. Sell them tickets. Sell them tickets. Let me give you an example. Again, we are a show your work company. We practice what we preach. You can see this group went in to do Apache Airflow certification. Have no idea what that's about. This is about bringing your animals to work, animal welfare. This is at a co-working spot in St. Louis. YOLO, AI modeling for beginning. I promise you, I know the people who work there, they didn't host this. They would never call it YOLO, right? Leveraging microwave data for real world structures, unlocking geospatial, right? All of these things are hosted by just people who came in and asked, can I host an event? Right? Can I host something regularly? Right? And Agritech Thursdays, Sustainability Lab. These are just random people that came in and said, can I do an event there? Does that make sense? When you go to contact on any of these pages, you want membership, tours, conferences, or events, they're going to tell you who to talk to. This is at every co-working. I can go to a gang of them, and they all got the same stuff. Make sense? Right? So, yeah, co-working is the easy way because they're always looking for programming, and they usually don't want to spend the time finding good people. Any other questions? We kind of went over our time. I wanted to cover product aware, problem aware. I think I mentioned I would talk about that today. Anything else, Darren? Keep going, man. Have a great weekend to you. Keep going. Any other questions about what we've talked about today? Antonio, hopefully we made you feel at home. I know it's a lot of celebrations and high-fiving, but we're celebrating the wins that our people are getting. So Isioma, hopefully you feel at home. You're always welcome at the cookout. This is the Speaker Hub barbecue family reunion that we do every day. Any other questions from anybody that's new? Nope. All right. Anything else? Anything else in the chat I'm missing, Angela?
No, just lots of celebrations and high fives in the chat.
No, that's cool,
you're
man.
welcome,
That's a good way
Chris.
to end the week.
It is.
That's a good way to end the week, man. So let me show those who don't know what we do, how we do it. Let me show you the magic of Speaker Hub. So everything we do at Speaker Hub is based around one philosophy, which is we want to make speakers better business owners, and we want to make the business owners better speakers. And that's kind of the core of what we do. Why? Because this guy with this 7 Habits book hasn't spoken since 2012, because that's when he died. But last year, his ideas generated $287 billion, right? From one core speech, Franklin Covey did $287 billion in revenue, $287 million in revenue last year from one core philosophy. Everybody that we know that we look at up to as speakers, what's her name? Lisa Nichols, right? All of these people, they're speakers up front, but in reality, when we go to their page, they're selling us courses and programs. She got 10 courses she's selling, 10 trainings, right? Got free ones for you to try. Got other tools for you to use. Selling her books. She even selling microphones and desk lights. I mean, so don't tell me that you just a speaker, because your favorite speaker ain't just a speaker, right? We go to Tony Robbins. He got a bunch of stuff for you to buy. He got programs and platinum partnerships, and y'all out here trying to make y'all living just selling speaking. You're going to be poor, right? So we are against poor speakers, right? Stephen Bartlett. Yeah, he's got 10 million subscribers on YouTube, has his podcast that does $2 million a year. But when he introduces himself, he's an entrepreneur first. We walk it like we talk it over here. Your favorite speaker ain't a speaker. He's an entrepreneur that's using speaking to grow their business, right? Start with why. This guy, Simon Sinek. This SimonSinek.com, that book does $50 million a year. 50 million a year. Yeah, you see him on stage, but he is selling. They've even turned that into a curriculum where he has his own little minions that are selling his stuff. These are his certified trainers, just like John Maxwell. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I'm just letting y'all, don't come over here with that. I got proof. We got the receipts that this is bigger than speaking, right? So that's what we push. We want you to have a speaker page where you can be found in our directory, like I showed you earlier, but we also want you doing outreach, going on podcasts, getting paid from your podcast interviews. We want you doing local associations, getting paid from your local association interviews. We want you getting in the media, getting paid from writing. We want you at conferences, getting paid from those conferences. If I want to go on this conference, our AI is going to go ahead and write the pitch for me for this conference. Look, Ma, no hands. In 5 seconds, is going to go ahead and write this email for me, right? The email is already written for me to reach out to Liz and ask if she wants me to be a speaker at that conference. This is the advantage of being a member at Speaker Hub. We use AI to do the work that the normal agents would do for you, right? They haven't made the update yet, right? So this is what we're doing. We use AI to write your bio. We use AI to help you with your frameworks. If you don't have a framework, if you need help with your signature talk and all those things, we use AI to do that. Isioma, we got all the tools you need to help you to get booked more, right? So Isioma, did you ever introduce yourself? Is she still here or she dipped out? I think she left. Did she ever introduce herself? She did,
Yes.
didn't she? Okay,
Yes, she did.
cool. Right. Any other questions or comments on what we're doing here at Speaker Hub? We want you to get paid on and off the stage. If you're only getting paid to show up, you're leaving 70% of your revenue on the table. If you've been with us from the beginning, we always talked about that, how your on stage revenue should only be 30% of your overall revenue. Maximum 30%. If it's more than 30%, talk to us. We'll show you how to build a business around that. Do you know why we're so hard on that, Valencia? Do you know why?
No.
Would you like me to tell you? Okay.
Yes,
Let me
I
explain
would.
to you. Right? Do you think that there's a ceiling on the maximum amount that you can get paid to show up to speak?
If there's a ceiling,
Yeah.
you mean if they're paying me?
Yeah.
I think they have a budget, so I would think there would be a maximum.
Yeah, there's a ceiling. Ain't nobody paying $18 million for someone to show up and speak. There's a ceiling. We don't know what that ceiling is, but there is a ceiling. Does that make sense?
Right, yes.
Is there a limit to the number of gigs that you could physically do in a year?
Yes.
Right? So we already got two constraints in the speaking business.
Mm-hmm.
We got a maximum amount that they're willing to pay us, and we got a maximum number of gigs we can do. So even if you wanted to do 5 gigs a week in 5 different cities, you're going to need a private jet, right? And do you really want to be, I don't want to be away from my little girl back here. I want her down there making TikToks. I want to see her make these TikToks. I want to see what it look like. So we want to be with our family. So there's a constraint in time and in budget. Right?
Right.
Stephen Covey hasn't shown up to a speaking gig since 2012. And he did $287 million last year off of thoughts that he had back when he was speaking. Does that make sense? So why are we trying to build a business around something that has too obvious constraints? Because the more you push your fee up, the less gigs you're going to get. Makes sense? So we can build a business without leaving our homes. We can still be speakers and get our voices out there. Right? So I use one example that I love to use, which is this. Let's go here and go to YouTube. Ron's story on YouTube. Me and Pam Perry. Right? This right here, 37 views, got me 8 customers. This one here, let me show you this one, got me 73 customers. From one interview here on this podcast, we did $18,000 in sales. Does this make sense? I don't know many speakers who get paid $18,000 to show up. Now, we were talking about co-working. This was in a co-working place. You see that? That's T-Rex in the background. I'm in a co-working doing this interview. So we walk it like we talk it. See, people, here's the problem with people trying to deal with us. We got the receipts. We got the proof. Everybody else just be talking. We got the proof.
Ron,
right?
The last call, this is Nicole Van Ballen.
Yep.
Last call I was on, you talked about how to close in a podcast. Is that located somewhere?
Yep. I'll show you. Well, if you go to Speaker Hub's speaker page, our YouTube video, you can find all of our past episodes here in the daily co-working calls, all 100 and however many, and you can do a search based on the topics. Every topic that we cover is sectioned out. Raymar goes in minute by minute and individually itemizes all this crap I be talking. So you can just skip to the stuff you want. When we tell you we're going to provide you the best opportunity, we're going to remove, well, I don't want to watch the whole thing. Skip straight. I want to learn what he talked about submitting guest articles. Minute 38. Does that make sense? You can just skip straight to it. We've cataloged every single topic that we cover on the call. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yep. So you can go through and find the one. Oh, it's all of them. All 120 something is over there on the right. So we got you. Let me see it. We're 7 minutes into overtime. Nicole, I got 23 more minutes. So if they have no other questions and we go through it, I can walk you through the close while we're on here. I can just do it now.
Please. We need the monies.
Oh yeah, no, I promise you. So let me walk through the beginning part. Lawrence, you had a question? I saw your hand was up for a second. Lawrence, okay. Maybe he caught a fish and he wanted to show us. But so let's talk about this. So when is the money made on a podcast? It's made before and after. The money is made before you show up and after. And what I mean by before you show up, you got to have your stuff prepped. You got to know what you're going to offer, how you're going to track, whether they're going to get it and all of that stuff. Right? So beforehand, that's my first question. Were you about to ask something, Ange? That was Ange. I got to go. That was the Baptist. I got to go to the bathroom.
Excuse me. This is my excuse me quietly. Only those who see it. Ron, will you talk through what you did with Pam Perry? What was the product? How did you know what to offer?
I'll walk you through that, but I'm setting it up. I got you. right? So, Nicole, the first question is, what are you offering at the beginning? Because that's where the money's made.
Oh, you
Go.
want me to answer?
Yeah, you the one with the
Taking
question.
notes.
Yeah, we're gonna do both.
Okay.
You're exhibit
A. So I'm offering my book and mastermind, like a 6-week mastermind.
Right. So do you know which podcast you're going on?
Yes, they're lined up.
Okay. Okay. So share your screen and pause the recording, Ange. I want to stop this. I don't want right. Right. So I put in, I'm going to be a guest on a podcast called Breakthrough Burnouts in 2 weeks. Can you tell me more about it? Right. Is it called Burnout Breakthrough? Is it with Kelsey Grant?
Oh, no, it says Florence Parrott.
Let's see. It's hosted by, what is it?
Florence.
Florence.
Parrot.
Breakthrough burnout. I put it as one word. Perfect. You see what I mean? So I put breakthrough as one word instead of like the act of breaking through separate. Right. So you see, it gave me the podcast and everything I need to know about it. Right. Let's see. I'm Ron Story. I'm Ron Story Jr. Tell me about myself. All right. Okay. So it knows me, blah, blah, blah. So I want to make sure it ain't putting some other goofy stuff in there. If the AI doesn't already know you, then you have to tell it about you. Does that make sense? So you would say, I'm James Brown. Here's my bio. I'm going to be a guest. What are some topics I should cover? Or what are some resources I should make available? Right? So it has all of my stuff in there, right? If you like an intro script, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm already booked. I want a list of potential resources I can offer the audience as a lead magnet, right? So I want a list of topics I can cover along with potential reason. Right. So you see that basic prompt there? Watch what's going to happen. And I'll put it in the chat. See how it's giving me the topic and what I should be doing, and it gives me my CTA?
Yes. Can I see what the prompt was? What did you say?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to put
thank you.
the prompt in the chat for everyone.
Okay.
Right? But do you see how that's cheating? Right? Now, this is a game changer because now it's applied to what they know about you and how you can actually benefit that audience. Right? Hustle ain't freedom. How to build a business that doesn't burn you out. Yeah, because they know how much I don't like flying around and doing all that goofy stuff. Right? How to get booked on podcasts without losing your mind. Escape the employee mindset, thinking like an owner without burning out. A lot of speakers start as an employee because that was what they were used to. Right? The anti-burnout marketing strategy, authority over algorithms. Yeah, go get on podcasts instead of waiting on the ads. You see how it knows me so well.
So you're basically, because I have all of these things that I can give away created already for my business. So you're saying go in and make something for the each podcast?
Here's the thing. Let me give you a great example. I go on podcasts. Let me pull up myself. Right? I'm going to come over here and I type in Ron Story Jr. right? So a lot of these are about lead generation, right? But then there's one down here that I was on with Luis, like used business buyer. That's a good one, right? This one here would be college dropout entrepreneur to buying businesses. This is about me traveling the world. Giving them a free download to Speaker Hub doesn't make sense. Do you see what I mean? Here's the key, guys. And if you can make this frame shift, and Nicole, this is in general, so this isn't about you. But if we can make this frame shift that the host is giving us a referral to their audience. I can't take a generic thing from me talking about living in Medellin and put it on Speaker Hub because it's not the right audience. So if I treat it like this dude is giving me an intro to 50 to 100 people, what do I want to say to them? How hard is it for me to come up with one of these? Freedom Blueprint, 5 steps to building a business that runs itself, a PDF guide. Watch this. I want to use this one. It just does it for me. Like, what are we doing? Like, just like we could make something personal for everybody, for every podcast where they like, holy crap. Right?
Yeah,
I can make
that's
it
amazing.
easy. Do you see what I mean? Like, it should be personalized. We're in the age where it takes 5 seconds to do this.
Okay.
Now I can come up here and say, okay, now these are the 5 steps. This is the quick download, but then I can expand upon it. Now, why do I want to expand upon this? This may be the free download, but how can I expand upon this? If I did a video on each one of these, now I can sell that for $27. Yeah, you get the list here, but you want me to teach on this, $47, you can upgrade to the video of me teaching these things. You could do this for every podcast. All I'm saying is, look, we're in the age where we got all of this intelligence that knows us. We call it a second brain. The second brain is where you take all the stuff. And now let me show you something that's super dope. If you pay for Chat GPT, they just added this today. I got they gave me this new thing, this new superpower where I can now connect my Google. I can connect it directly to my Google Drive with all of the data and information on Speaker Hub. So all of my books and all the writings I've done, all of my podcasts, all of my blog articles, I can connect it directly to my Google Drive. And that's my second brain. So now we can just pick from my data source that our team has already built. Like, guys, what are we doing? That's how you win. People outside of here don't have this. They ain't got this game. Right? So, Nicole, you go on a podcast. Dude, here's the podcast I'm going on. You know me as Nicole Van Valen. What are 5 resources? Boom. Okay, pick the one you like. I'm going to roll with this one. Now, here's the beauty of this. Let me give you the ultimate hack. You don't have to have all of this done before you get on the podcast. Where's my thing? Oh, I said it was a temporary, so we lost it. Right? But we don't need to have all of that done. Right? We don't need that. We don't need all of that done anymore ahead of time. So you can get on a podcast, just flow along with the podcast, find out which direction the host took you in. The podcast ain't coming out for a week or 2. Go make the resource after the podcast. Does that make sense? Find the flow that you're going to be in the podcast. Make the resource afterwards. This ain't going live tomorrow. Hop in. Here's the cool thing. We give you an extra cheat. Anybody who's been on here, you've heard me talk about using Loom and Zoom to record your podcast, even when you're a guest, right? You've heard me talk about that. Guess what Zoom gives you? The transcript. take the transcript and say, this is the video, the resource I was just on. Yeah, exactly. Right. This is the podcast I was just on. Upload the transcript into ChatGPT and say, give me the resource that I should be giving away to them that further extends the conversation. You got a week. Like that podcast Valencia was on yesterday, coming out tomorrow. You may have a month sometimes. So you go and you have ChatGPT put that together. That makes sense.
Yes. So
Now,
if I do, so it's after it's over, then I'm just going to email back the host and say, here's some additional tips you can put to provide to your. What are we doing?
no,
What
no,
do we
no.
do? What are
When
we
you do
doing with this
no,
stuff?
I'm talking about the resource. So
Yeah,
this
the
is
resource.
right. So while you're on the podcast, you know what direction that podcast is going and what they had you to harp on. Now, let me show you how most podcasters decide on their topic. When do you think they decide the title of the podcast? After they get done talking to you? They don't even know the title of that daggone podcast yet because they don't know the way to do. They never talked to you before. They don't know the direction of the podcast. Do you see what I mean? Like this person, outbound or inbound. This is an interesting conversation because people talk about demand generation and lead generation. I totally shook up the podcast by saying there's no such thing as outbound or inbound. Everything starts with outbound. And he was like, what? That's why it's called outbound or inbound. It's all the same. Nobody had ever come on and said that before. You know how many people hit me up after that and said, man, I never thought about that. But he didn't know that until after it was recorded. So I could have put together the resource afterwards based on this transcript and then gave them something that furthered that interview. Is that fair, guys?
I understand that, but I guess I'm like tactically, what do? I interview, make the resource, and then what's the next step? How do I get the resource to the people?
Yep, I got it. But if you don't have the resource, that part didn't matter. So I just wanted to go through step one. This is the before the podcast. Now you have the resource that's available, right? Or you're on the podcast. While you're on the podcast, there's always going to be the question of, hey, Nicole, are there any last thoughts before we end the podcast?
Yeah.
Boom. That's when you go into your call to action. Nicole, how do people find you? Boom. That's when you go into your call to action, right? So I did a training on LinkedIn and how to get speaking gigs from LinkedIn. Since I was talking about LinkedIn, I didn't think it would be appropriate to tell them to go to some separate landing page. So you know what I told them? Hit me up on LinkedIn. You're already on there doing what I told you in the podcast. Look me up, send me a message. Let me know if the things I suggested work. Right? My call to action was to do something in LinkedIn since they were already there. Guess what people did? They came over to LinkedIn. They found me and they said, hey, I saw you on YouTube with Chantel about LinkedIn. She already in LinkedIn. Rhonda Ross, that we know from here all the time. Hey, I saw you on Creative for More with Chantel. Now, Rhonda came February 2025. What most people don't know is that video with Chantel was recorded January 2023. It's 2 years later. The first one came in March 2023. I just watched you. 2023, same interview. I'm getting leads from it 2 years later. So the call to action, you have to figure that out based on the resource. Hey, you know what? Thanks, Ange. I want to thank you for having me on the show. What I want to do, I want to offer an opportunity for everyone to further this conversation. So if you have more questions outside of here, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm Ron Story Jr. on LinkedIn. When you reach out to me, I'll help you to make sure, I'll review your LinkedIn to make sure that it's set up for generating speaker leads. Does that make sense? In the one with Pam Perry, I already knew she runs Speakers Magazine. I already knew who the audience was beforehand. So I was already ready to talk about Speaker Hub. Right? I was ready to go into the flywheel and to lay out Speaker Hub, which is what I did. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the key is is someone going to hear you on that show and directly go buy your product every time? No. But it's your job to give them a low barrier for you to capture the lead. Does that make sense? I need that email address because Pam Perry ain't giving me her email address. She put me in front of the people. It's my job to harvest the leads. I got to harvest those leads myself. Putting a $500 offer in front of them ain't harvesting that lead.
Okay.
Does this make sense?
It does. I just have to figure out, like, I know how to close, I know how to tell them contact me and all of that. I'm just not sure this resource that I built, how do I give it to them? I need to extract
It's
their
using
email
Speaker
somehow.
QR. Yeah, it's using Speaker QR. I thought you already
Okay.
knew that part. My bad. I thought you already understood that we use Speaker QR for that. So what you do is you come over here. Everyone is watching. You go to your lead section here. And we have a section for QR codes. There are a lot of companies that do QR codes, but we do it in a unique way. We want you to be able to offer people sales. We're not trying to get you more speaking gigs. We're trying to get you more sales. Right? So ours is about giving them a link to the resource. You see that, Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can change the video that says, hey, thanks for watching me on the Angela Lewis show. Here's the resource that I promised you during the podcast interview. It's going to give you the checklist to get booked on 5 stages in 5 days. Click, right? That's the video thank you on the next page. Got it? What does it look like? I'm glad you brought that up because I thought you had already knew what to do. So what you're going to do is give them this link, not the QR code. You're going to give them the link for your stuff. And they're going to put the link in the bio, right? When you look at my thing here with Pam Perry, go back to it, Ron Story, Pam Perry, right? What's in the bio? I got a link in the bio right there. You see that? She put the link there in the bio. For the one that I did with her on Speaker Hub 5 months ago, there's my Speaker Hub link in the bio, pro.speakerhub. Y'all see that? It's just like this, pro.speakerhub. It's the same thing. And it's going to ask them, hey, what was your thoughts on Nicole being on the podcast? Oh, I thought it was great. They're going to give you a recommendation in order to get that resource.
Okay, so for the podcast I have done already, I can create these QR codes and give it to them before they produce it.
Yeah, before they publish it, send them say, here's a resource for your listeners for them to further the conversation with me. I put together a quick guide about what I talked about. You can click here to download it.
Okay.
Right? You can give it to them for them to download it. And then that's where you capture your reviews and you give them the resource, but you get the lead. That lead comes back into Speaker Hub here with the, Kathleen Coleman. Excellent. Who's another one? Erica Shoemate, who's on the call. Very engaging and informative. Now, when you follow up with them, the software automatically writes the email for you, takes into consideration what they said, and writes the email for you. This is cheating. Right? It brings in their feedback, everything that Erica said about me, it brings that into the email there. Make sense?
Yes, I was just missing that link.
Yep. So it's Speaker QR is what you use for them to download. You can use the link. See, okay, I thought she was leaving. I was about to say see you later, but yeah, I know you need to see that, right? The key is being prepared ahead of time. So you got to ask yourself, what do I need to do before this podcast? Right? what am I going to do during the podcast to make sure that I'm delivering? What's my topic? What's going to be my call to action? What's my potential directions I can take this in? Right? Do I have all the stuff set up? And then on the backside, am I checking the resources to see if they actually follow through? Does that make sense?
It does.
So that before, during, and after is where the money reside. I got to be prepared before, make sure I'm strong during, and then afterwards, making it easy. Now, the cool thing is sometimes during your conversation, if you know that this is really your target audience, like me going on Speakers Magazine, I didn't give them a free resource. I made them a deal of a lifetime. Hey, I'll give you access to the software for $100 forever. And they were like, right? And then when they got through, the one that was $100 didn't have a lot in it. People ended up buying the one that was $2,000 because they were like, well, no, I really need this one. Right? I really need this one over here. I thought I needed that one, but in reality, I need the one with more pitches. Does that make sense? So you got to have a low barrier to entry. Now, I'm going to tell you the value of paper form. Paper form is cheating. Do you hear me? Paper form is the cheat code. I don't know any other forms that have this, but this is why I invest in paper form. Watch what happens here. Let me go out. So here on the, I'm going to do one so you can see it, right? Let me go over here. And I put my information in there, right? And we say, okay, this is what Speaker Up costs, but I'm going to change this to James, and I'm going to spell it wrong so y'all know that this is one of the things, right? So now I'm over here to this page, right? I didn't submit this. You all see that? I didn't send anything in. Is that fair? Watch what happens. When I go back to that same survey, you see it says no results. But watch, I'm going to click on the results, and then I'm going to go to partial submissions. And what's up here? James Brown. Even if they don't fill it out, I still know that they did part of it. So now I can follow up with them anyway. They didn't buy from me, but I can follow up. I still got the lead, even though they didn't buy it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Even though they didn't buy it, guess what? I still know that they tried. They thought about it. So what do? I take those leads. It's called partial complete. You want a form that has partial complete. Let me show you. So what did I do? When people go to that partial complete, you know what I do? I got this. Retry it. Last call. I got these partial completes where I send it back to them. Does that make sense? So you'll see I have this thing like last call or whatever. That's basically code error or partial. It's a partial complete. I just wanted to not tell them that I got the information, even though they didn't complete it. I just sent them the thing again. Right? So I send out another email saying, hey, we may have had a bug in the thing. We didn't have no bug, but I can't tell them, even though you didn't complete it, we still got your information because it sounds creepy. That's marketing. Right? Everybody who visits Speaker Hub, we know who they are and we got their LinkedIn. We just don't send them an email saying, I saw you on our website. No, I connect with them on LinkedIn and say, you want to join our LinkedIn group. And then from the LinkedIn group, we invite them over here. So a lot of people come to this call not knowing that we knew they visited the site already. We already know who you are before you get over here. But it sounds weird if the website knows you and you never signed up for nothing. I'm just saying this, right? But we're giving you those tools. Does that make sense? That's what Speaker Insight does. We offer this to everybody with a lifetime plan. We can identify everybody who visits your website for you, even if they don't sign up. So get a form that has partial complete. So when you make the call to action, if they don't buy it, if you're offering for them to buy something, even if they don't buy it, you still get their contact information. Is that fair, Valencia? Is that a cheat code or what?
That's a cheat code.
Yeah, it's 100% cheating.
Love
You
it.
know? Any other questions? Yes, baby. Tú tienes almendras. Dame. Money? Okay, dame. Este es almendras, pero sí. Dame. Gracias. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Was this helpful? So here's the one thing I'll tell you, Nicole. Just do more. The more you practice, the better off you'll get. I did a bunch of podcasts and I was trash. It's terrible, right? But I didn't. What I'm talking about on the call to action side, though, my call to actions were all over the place. I had links that were too long. See you later. The cool thing about the link in the bio, just you can obligate the host by saying, "Hey, I'm going to give Angela a link to put in the bio where you can download the resource I'm talking about." Not a host is like, "Damn it, I got to do it because he didn't already mention it." Well, Valencia, what's your question?
So do you have the speaker the speaker QR code linked to a paper form? And that's how you get the partial in there?
If I'm trying to sell them something, yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
If I'm just giving them a download, no. Does that make sense? But I'll show you, if you want to put something behind like a Google wall, make the link private and force them to request access. That way, when they have to request access, you capture the lead there too, right? That's another way if you don't want to go through the whole thing. But what I would do is get them to fill out the form and send them to the Google thing because you already got it. Don't need to double opt in. But if you don't want to use Speaker QR, you can just use Google and it'll tell them to request access. It'll say Nicole Van Valen is requesting access to this document, right? But if you have Speaker QR, you can leave it open. That way, when they fill out the QR form, it takes it. Let me give you an example. Let me just demonstrate. My 1230 didn't show up, so we're just going to keep rolling, right? So here in Speaker QR, let me just fill this out. Boom. And that's the reason why we don't make this long. A lot of different QR companies, they let you ask all of these questions and make it long. No. I need the lowest barrier to entry to get this daggone email address, right? I like your Air Force Ones, right? So now watch what happens. Now I can submit the feedback and it takes me to, this is where your video shows up, Nicole. If you don't put a video in there, we gonna put our videos in here. And it's gonna sell them a Speaker Hub account. We tell you right there, and say, change the default video. You ain't changed the default video, we gonna ask them if they should sign up for Speaker Hub too, right? But then they claim their reward. Watch what happens when I click this. It's in a Google Doc. It automatically just gives them, there's the one, okay, it's asking me to sign in here, right? So this is what it looks like if it asks them to sign in, but it should open it up. Let me just put this in, right? So it brings them in. Once they sign in, they have access to the Google Doc. You can make the Google Doc open, right? So this is the copy of the book, Speaker Launch Formula, this is the outline of it, right? But I had to throw this whole book in the trash because it was talking too far over the heads of our target audience. So I said, oh, we got to redo it. So we're redoing it, right? But does that make sense? Sometimes you make mistakes. This was a bad deal for me. This is a product I created without talking to the audience. Once I started doing these daily calls, had to redo the book. Make sense?
I have a question.
Yep.
When they put the 5 stars, is there a way that this could be linked automatically to our Google reviews, like pushed out?
Right now, no, because Google be trying to charge us too much money. But no, not yet. But I can tell you where it will be, and I can show you where it will be. It will be in your new speaker page. So there's the new speaker page that we're releasing for Speaker Hub. And it will be in your new speaker profile. Does that make sense? So when you log into your new speaker profile with Speaker Hub, I wish I had my Figma open so I could show you. The reviews will be right on there. So all of your reviews from your speaker QR will show up inside of your speaker profile in the new speaker profile. Here's a ugly demonstration of it where I can edit it, but I wish I could show it to you. But you'll be able to put your reviews directly in there. I can't see it right now for some reason. Let me see. John is a fake person.
so
Let's see.
is this a speaker profile you were talking about that people can find you when they
Yep.
Google search you?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So it's already on there now. It's just not done very well. Right. So if we look over to the left, you see she has her testimonials right here. You see those? These are testimonials that people left for her. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, Nicole?
Yes.
So in the new one, it will be that plus the star ratings and everything else. Right. Right now, there are 68 event planners that are inside a Speaker Hub looking for speakers live on the site right now. We show it live. Right. So about 10,000 event planners or people searching for speakers out of Google are on our site every day looking through the profiles.
Ron, will you address this? Lawrence asked, will it carry over previous reviews?
Those anything that's in your old profile will be transported over into the new Speaker Hub. You won't have to redo anything.
When does this
That
happen?
make sense? It's in beta right now. All the lifetime members will get access first to test it out in April so that we don't run into a bunch of bugs and have 68,000 people complaining. So that's going to happen it's live now, but it's just in beta. Give us a week or so and Gustavo should have it available. But all of the infrastructure is there. We're just testing out a few little things that I don't like, little small changes. If I could pull up my Figma, I'll show it to you for those who want to see it again. But it's an incredible change because you'll finally be able to sell your books, your trainings, and all of those things directly from your Speaker Hub page. So here it's loading right now on my screen. This is the new design of the speaker page from Speaker Hub. So this is a video here at the top that'll be able to play. You can put all of your stuff, your testimonials, what you're available for, your fees, the logos of past clients, all of your signature programs. You'll be able to sell your courses. Your testimonials will be right here prominent, not over in the corner. Achievements right here inside of your speaker page. All of your appearances on podcasts and different media will automatically be added if we have record of it. Your testimonials, you'll have an entire I love this person wall, not just 2 little sliders, but imagine having 800 testimonials. Hard to not pick that person. Does that make sense? And then you'll have your courses and trainings, be able to sell your books. All of this will be for sale. And we will give you the names and email addresses of the people that bought your book on our service. If you sell a book on Amazon, they're not giving you the person's name that bought your book.
Ryan, this is
Make
better
sense?
than the website. This is good.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the advantage. Most people who are speakers don't have 250,000 people visiting their website every month.
Exactly.
We get 250,000 unique people visiting Speaker Hub every month. Now, here's the cool thing. Let me show you something that I don't know if y'all picked up on this. Let me just toss it out there so you can see it. Because when you see this, it's a game changer. Let me log out here. So when you go to you see how we have the news feed here, but when you come to the homepage, there will be a area for people to be able to search for the trainings. So if Valencia has a training on leadership, somebody can search leadership and it's going to show all of our leadership trainings in there. Does that make sense? If uh, uh, I don't know. Nicole doesn't. She was a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. If she want to do a cheerleader training, do a cheerleading training. We don't care. Right? Hey, how cheering gets you booked more often? Do that.
It does.
Oh, well, there you go.
Being a
Rah
past
rah
one.
fits boom bye. There you go. Right. But do you see what I mean? Like there will be a section to search through our trainings. Now, here's a pro tip. Make one of your trainings free so that the event planner can hop in and try you out before they hire you. Make a quick 30-minute training that kind of gets people in. When you go on the podcast, hey, I got a free 30-minute course. Boom. Right? So they can try you out before they buy the bigger thing. We won't allow you all to sell thousands of dollars. You can't sell a $2,000 training on Speaker Hub. So your first thing will have to be under $100. After you've reached a certain plateau in sales and we make sure you're not getting a bunch of refunds and all of that, then we'll allow you to raise that a little bit. But it's based on the volume and your transaction history with us. Because y'all ain't about to be selling no $5,000 course to one of y'all cousins. We pay y'all the money and then both of y'all disappear and they ask for a refund. We smarter than that. We ain't going for that fraud. I know what people do in this course business. They ain't about to get us. Yeah, I know it happens. I promise you. You pay the person a commission for the affiliate fee, and then they run off, and then it was their cousin that bought it. So they made $2,000 in affiliate fees, but now American Express that took $5,000 from us. Yeah, okay. What percentage do we get of the sales? Depends on what level you are. If we promote your book to our list of speakers and in our group, we'll ask for a higher commission. If we just let you post it on there, we just want to cover the whatever the credit card fees charge us, right? So it'll probably be somewhere between, you'll get minimum 90%, right? The minimum will be 90% of the commissions. But we just have to cover our administrative cost of providing it. Udemy, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Udemy. Udemy revenue split course creators. Y'all know what Udemy takes? Anybody know? Udemy, if they promote your stuff, if Udemy promotes your stuff through their website, you only get 37% of the course money because they're running ads to your courses. They're generating it. You only get 37%. They'll give you a referral link to your course. Anything you sell through that referral link to your course that you can prove, because that's how they know it came from you, they give you 97%. Right? So one thing I can promise you is that we will give you a way better deal than this. I ain't gonna take 63% of y'all stuff. Come on, man. That is gun to the head robbery. Like, we're not gonna do that. Right? But that's in line. Let me show you why. Y'all ever heard of AppSumo? Right? Over here on AppSumo, if you are an AppSumo partner, which I am, if I go in and I log into my partner portal and I ask about what's the rev share, right? Even on AppSumo, what's the payout? Let me show you. Where's how much does it cost to list? Here it is, right? Depends on what you're doing. They got a basic thing. They work with a tailor agreement, but I'll tell you what it is. They take 70% of sales. Whatever is sold on AppSumo, they get 70%. The other people get, whoever you are, if you're the person, you get 30%. Got it? Deal terms and features, but it's 70-30 with AppSumo. Got it? Let me see. Let's see, split. See if they got it in there. Share. When do I get paid? What does it cost? But yeah, it's 70. I know it's 70. They don't want to talk about it publicly, but it's freaking, they take 70% on Absolute. Got it? Any other questions? This is a long day, but it's good. Good topics. Let me see. Good topics. Any other questions, comments? Say Ron coming in again. She keep coming in and out. Any other questions? Was this helpful? Right. We got to make some money, man. I've watched too many speakers starve on the. I'm waiting on someone to pay me a fee train, and I've never had anybody pay me a large fee. I've gotten paid. Actually, I did 2 virtual speaking gigs in March. They ain't sent me my money yet. We have to hit them up, get my bread. So, but it's a regular. I teach virtually. I do usually 2 a month, 2 virtual speaking gigs to young entrepreneurs every month. But they don't pay me $10,000 to do it. But I can go and get that money out of the audience. Does that make sense? And that's the best way to get paid, guys. I mean, so everyone that's, if you're watching this and you're looking, we will send you the link to sign up. I promise you. I apologize, but we didn't want to do monthly. Like, we didn't want to do hey, you can pay us for a month and try us for a month. I didn't think that was fair to Bonnie. Bonnie paid. Bonnie's with us. Why should we be letting people try it for free, getting 8 pitches ahead of Bonnie's? That's trash. See you later, Kevin. Why should we let someone who's on there for free get ahead of what Michelle's doing with Ann, who has a lifetime account with us? Right? It's not fair. So this is for the players. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'm gonna go grab me a 3-minute lunch before my 1 o'clock. Pitching and following up. Way to go. Bonnie is killing it. Bonnie, we got your email. Did Ann respond to you on your email about how to improve your podcast results? We're doing an update. I did an update on the AI this morning with Carlos. So we're refining the pitch AI. In the next 30 days, this is first time announcing this publicly, you will be able to upload your own template as the basis for all of your emails. Let me give you an example of this. Imagine you have your own writing style. You'll be able to write out your own template, and it will be used as the basis of writing all of your AI-based emails. Right now, we use a generic one that I've used for years, but imagine being able to put Valencia's little flavor on it. Being able to put Bonnie's flavor on it, Nicole's accent and her flavor on it, boom. And it writes in that style for you to even more personalize your pitches. Does that make sense? So that's coming up in 30 days. It's already in the design works. And we did a refine of the AI pitching earlier this morning. So anything else you all need from me before I go? If not, this is a great time. Have a great weekend. Exciting time to be a part of Speaker Hub. I promise you. We are going to weed out the folks that don't want to be here and win with the winners. So welcome aboard. If it's your first time, come on. If you're tired of your executive producer being all up in your videos, come on over to Death Row, over here to Speaker Hub. We got you.